Hi everybody, welcome to this evening's yoga class. So we're going to come, find a nice comfortable seat, allow yourself some time to relax. This is a lovely half an hour for yourself this afternoon. So just take a moment to place your hands upon your thighs. You can close your eyes and just simply tune into your breathing. Let's take 2 more breaths. And we'll blink our eyes open now, and we'll continue with a lovely, just gentle breathwork movement. So we're just going to keep the palms facing up, and we're going to scoop the energy up, bringing the hands to prayer overhead, and then exhale back to the heart. Just a gentle breathwork with movement to begin with, bringing the hands to prayer and to the heart. So you're turning the palms up, it's like you're scooping the energy up over the head, bringing the hands to prayer and back to the heart. So you're breathing in, reaching and scooping the energy up and then back to the heart. So it's like you're trying to scoop up water. You're taking it up and then bringing it down into the heart. So you're breathing in, breathing out. Scoop it up, breathing in, breathing out. Let's do that a few more times. And back to the heart, so that lovely scooping motion. Let's do it twice more. One last big one. And gently bring the hands back onto the heart. And so making sure now that you're nice and comfortable for your yoga practice this evening. So I like to sit out a little bit onto the edge of the chair. So I have my list here to begin with. So we're just going to make sure that the legs are nice and comfortable, nice and flat onto the ground. And we'll just begin by a nice cactus. So again, the elbows are in line with the shoulders. You're spreading those hands and fingertips out nice and wide. This is your inhale, and on your exhale, you're simply bringing the elbows and the palms together. So you're breathing in. So here we're bringing the shoulder blades together, and we're going to bring the chin towards the ceiling. And then you're breathing out, gently drawing the chin down and the elbows together. So breathing in, lift the chin up, lift the heart, and then breathing out, gently rounding the back and chin towards the chest. Breathing in, lift and rise up, and then breathing out, nice and gentle. So really feel that squeeze of the shoulder blades together as you look up. So we're also opening the throat chakra, and then we're closing that energy down. So you're breathing in, breathing out. Breathe in, breathing out. Breathing in, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Breathing out, let's do 2 more. Squeeze. And last one. Squeeze. And now we're going to bring the legs into it. So you're taking the feet out wide, then you're bringing them in. So it's the same movement, squeezing the shoulder blades together, lifting the chin. But now we're bringing the feet out at the same time as we do this lovely cactus motion. So you're breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's do 2 more. And out, last one. And out. We're going to take the feet wide again, nice and grounded onto the ground. You're going to take that right hand, the right forearm, onto the thigh, and you're going to sweep over in a nice lateral bend. So you'll feel that lovely stretch up along that left side of the body. So you're inhaling back to your cactus, and you're going on the opposite direction. So left arm comes down to the thigh. You're sweeping the fingertips over and up. So breathing in cactus, breathing out that lateral bend. And you can take your time here, slowing down, feeling into that lovely stretch. So you're breathing in, back into your cactus, and you're breathing out into your lateral bend. Now see if you can turn your heart slightly towards the ceiling. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathing in. Remember now, rotate the heart towards the ceiling. You're looking up, looking sort of towards that armpit. Breathing in and breathing out. So you should really find this lovely stretch on the side body. So just getting into some of the space in between the rib cage. So we're really feeling that extension now on the side body. Let's do one more. And coming back. And so here we're going to keep the arms out now in a T shape in line with your shoulders. You're breathing in, you can bring the feet in a little bit closer, and now you're going to extend the left leg and you're just going to tap. So you're breathing in, now you're crossing over, left hand touches the right toes. Breathing in, right hand to left toes. Breathe in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. So for these ones, I like to breathe in through the nose, and we're going to breathe out through the mouth, okay? So you're breathing in when you open, you're breathing out when you tap, and exhaling. So you're inhaling, exhaling. You're doing really well. And out. Okay. Let's do two more. Well done. So you're keeping the feet nice and grounded. The arms are still out. You should feel a little bit of a burn on those shoulders. This is still your inhale. And now for your exhale, you're going down towards the ground. So you're tapping that opposite foot and you're taking that left hand towards the sky looking up. So you're breathing in, and now we're going to go in the opposite direction. So hand comes down to the opposite foot and you're taking that right hand to the sky. So you're breathing in. And now you're breathing out, lifting up, looking up at those left fingertips. Breathing in, breathing out. So it's just a nice little supine twist. We're getting all the stretches in, we're getting the movement in. You're breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. So the breath is the most important part of the movement, and this is lovely. I mean, you can do this during your lunch break or in the evening, and you'll feel the lovely stretch in your back, in your vertebrae and in the side body. Let's do one more on each side, and out. And let's come back to center. Now let's link the hands, place them behind the head, open up the heart. So you're breathing in here now, sitting up nice and tall, feet are nicely connected to the earth. This is your inhale, chin slightly towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, you're going to slightly round your back, and again you're bringing opposite knee to opposite elbow. Breathing in, sitting tall, gently looking up, so your gaze is up, and then you're rounding as you tap the opposite knee to the opposite elbow. Breathing in and then breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's do a few more of these. So there's like a little crunch, so you'll find that crunch in your belly area. So it's a lovely way to just gently turn on the core muscles and feeling that lovely crunch. But remember to come back into that straight position before you cross over. Back to your neutral and then cross. So we're inhaling to center and exhaling to cross. Keeping the shoulder blades close when you come back to the center. So it's a lovely little movement. So you could do, if you did these in the morning, you could just do 21 of each of them, and they would, all of these ones would set you up for your day. So you could replay this just for your 20 minutes maybe, every morning, and you're not even getting on the floor. You're doing them all from your seat. Let's do one more on each side and come back to center. We're going to now lean back slightly onto your chair. You're going to bring so as you lean back, you'll take your knees up. This is your inhale, open on your exhale, inhale, close, and exhale back to the earth. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Inhaling, lift up, exhaling, open, inhale, close, exhale, sit up. Doesn't look that pretty, but you'll feel the lovely stretch. Let's do 2 more. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. 1 more. Up we come. In, inhale, and exhale. Well done. Now the next one maybe not for everybody, but it's nice to give it a little go. So you're going to make sure that the left foot is nice and grounded onto the floor, and we're going to take our right foot and we're just going to leave it relax over that left thigh. So as we sit up nice and tall and straight, you're going to inhale, bring the knee up, exhale, push it back down. So you're breathing in, breathing out. We just do a few of these. Squeeze the knee in towards the chest, push it back down, squeeze it in, and push it back down. From here, you're going to take the arms up, and on the exhale, you're gently folding over that leg. So it's just a nice gentle fold. You're not pushing yourself too far. You're just folding nice and down, rounding the spine, rounding the head. So you're breathing in as you reach up, and then you're breathing out as you fold down. So breathing in. So just make it like 60% of the effort. You don't want to reach all the way down. Well, you can if you want, but it's just about going that like 60%. We don't want 100%. So nice and gentle, folding down. Let's do 2 more. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. This time when inhale, breathe in, and you're just going to bring one hand down to touch that foot, and you're taking the left hand up towards the sky. You're keeping the right hand on the left foot, and you're just tapping onto your left foot here. Breathing in, reaching up, and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Are we all still with me? Breathing in and breathing out. Let's do 1 more. Breathe in and breathing out. And we'll take the hand back just to open and bring it back to center. We'll do a little counter twist, keeping the knee here. We're just looking over that right hand. You can take your left hand now onto that right knee. It'll help your little twist. You can take it over the back of your chair, or you can take it around the back of your chair, or you can even take your hand all the way around, taking hold or reaching for that thigh and going for that little twist over that right shoulder, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to take 2 breaths here. Well done. Unravel out of that. We'll take that right foot down, ground down through the feet, and we're going to take this left foot up. So you're taking the left foot up, you're placing it across that right thigh, and again, just going to gently squeeze it into your chest, and then you're pushing it down towards the ground. So breathing in, then breathing out. Breathing in, squeeze it up. Breathing out, push it down. Let's do it once more. Breathe in, breathing out. We're going to take the arms up again. Breathing in, reaching up, and then breathing out, folding forward and down. So you're breathing in. I like to sometimes link my thumbs. It gives me that little extra space. Make sure that you line up the arms with the ears, and then you're exhaling, folding down. So you're breathing in, looking up, breathing out. Breathing in. Let's do 2 more. Breathing out. Last one. Breathing in, breathing out. And we come back to center. This time you're taking that left hand down, placing it onto that right foot, and you're taking that right hand up towards the ceiling, looking up into that nice little gentle twist. And then you're just tapping onto the foot. So you're inhaling and exhaling. So it's a nice little soft landing. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's do one more. Breathing in and breathing out. Come all the ways up. Take your right hand to do a counter twist onto that left knee. You can take that left hand behind you over the back of the chair into your little twist, or if you want, you can wrap it around your back and just touch off your right thigh. And you're here for 2 breaths. And we unravel and we'll come all the way back to center. So, and today we don't have a meditation, but we have just a little bit of, I won't even call it a worksheet, but just maybe something for you to think about during the week. And it's just something I suppose I've been thinking about, and it's really about how we, shall I fold this down? Sorry, no, sometimes, oh yeah, now we have it. So it's really about how we, this week, putting a little bit of extra time into how we manage or how we handle stress in our lives. So it's good if you had a pen and a paper, or you can replay the video and take down some of these points. So it's about how we control how we respond to stress. So the choices that we make every day might be small ones around this, but they actually have a big impact. And so if we could see some of the stresses as challenges during our week, we can then see them as opportunities that where we can build habits and they can help us to cope in a healthy way. So the worksheet I've created today is designed to help you break down stress into a few simple points. So how do we deal with stress in a healthier way? Well, the first thing I know is becoming aware very much of what triggers us. What are the triggers that we experience that cause us to feel stressed? How do they pop up in our life and how do we handle them? So the first thing is recognizing your stress triggers. In other words, it's like you're going to be a detective for the week and you're on a mission to sort of discover what is causing you to feel stressed. So maybe you might be writing down, it's a hectic morning. You might be feeling overwhelmed by a workload. Your kids might be driving you crazy. You might have a to-do list that is totally getting on top of you. It could be a difficult conversation that you need to have with somebody that's causing you to stress. Whatever it is, maybe pick 1 or 2 of those things and write them down. And then when you experience those stressors, we'll just say, I'm taking an example, maybe you feel you have a heavy day at work coming and you feel a bit overwhelmed or stressed by that. The next line I want you to write down is, how would you describe the physical feeling of that stress? So for me, if I'm sort of feeling overwhelmed in that way, the stress tends to sit in my shoulders. I feel I have tight shoulders, my jaw gets a little tight. Now other people say their tummy gets into a knot, or they might feel really tired and drained. Some people get headaches. Other people feel their heart starts racing and they can't stop it. So write down maybe what is the physical symptom that goes with the stress, and then give it a number on a scale of 0 to 100. So how would the stress feel? So for me, it might be about a 60%. And so this will just help really seeing how much stress you have. So that's just number 1. It's having awareness, writing it down. Where does the stress sit in your physical body? And on a scale to 1 to 100, what score would you give it? The next thing is part 2. So part 2 really is about creating a plan for yourself that's going to cope with the triggers, cope with the stress. So you've listed your triggers now, your stresses, and you're going to decide, if you have maybe 2 or 3 on your list, you're going to also look, we're just going to pick one. So I'm going to just pick my work overload a little bit. So you're going to look at that, and I'm going to say, well, what can I control and what can I not control with regard to that stress, with that situation? So I make a list of realistically what I control and what I can't control. So I can control maybe a little bit about how I do my workload that comes in, how I set my time aside. I can also control how I prioritize it and what I think is most important in that workload. What I can't control during that stressor of that work is how other people think or whatever other people say or do around it. That's not something I can control. I can also maybe even have the conversation with my boss and saying, look, that's not going to be done until Wednesday or Thursday. So that's going to all take a little bit of stress off me. So I'm noticing now how I currently cope. How did I handle it? So some people handle it by ignoring it. Some people handle that type of stress by getting really frustrated and cross and angry. And there's no judgment here. That is just a habit of how we handle stress. But to create and do a good coping strategy for ourselves, the most important thing is finding ways of handling that type of stress and situations. So for me, when I find the stress is really building up, do you know what I do? I return to something that always works for me, and that is some breath work. So I do some lovely breathing exercises. I might do the Ujjayi breath, I might do alternative nostril nose breathing, or I might just do the 4-box breath. But I have now begun to create a little toolbox for myself, and breath work is going to be one of the things I will put into that toolbox. So having like a little form of control. Another thing I often use is mantras or positive affirmations or words, and you can come up with those yourself. Sometimes if I'm feeling a bit anxious even about health issues I might have, I would constantly repeat to myself, I am healthy, I am happy, I am full of love. You know, all my cells are healthy, all my cells are happy, all my cells are full of love. Or some people say all my cells are full of God's love. So I'm finding ways now that I can respond to the stress. What I'm actually really wanting you to think is, when we feel stress, what are the genuine ideas you can come up with yourself that's going to make you feel calmer and more in harmony with yourself? And they are the little steps that give you that sense of control. So I suppose it's just something to think about, that when we have stress, we really need to know how to build resilience around it, so that whatever comes our way in life, that we will have some coping skills to do to deal with it. Another lovely coping skill is some visualization, relaxation. And I'm not talking about relaxation as in throwing yourself down in front of the TV. I'm talking about active relaxation, which is breath work, which is visualization, which is gentle stretches like we've done today. These are all things that take us out of that stress mode. So it's nice to have a little few things in your notebook or in your bag, as we say, that's going to be able to take you out of that feeling of stress and bring you back into harmony with yourself. So it's always about bringing yourself, having practices, having things in the toolbox that bring you back into harmony, but also knowing what you can control and what you can't control, and the things that do help is as in having the toolkit. So this is only a tiny little section of this that I have just put together for you today, but it's actually it's always nice to be ahead and have coping strategies for yourself already prepared, so that when shite does hit the fan, as they say, you're a little bit more prepared for it, that you have different affirmations, different practices, different habits that you can use in your daily life that will combat some of the stress that you might encounter. And we all encounter stress, but we need to see it more as an opportunity as well. And it's lovely to talk to people, to vent, have a chat with a friend. you know, so that's important as well, and allow yourself to be supported in life also. So we're going to finish our practice. I hope you enjoyed it this evening. A few words of wisdom. So we'll finish our practice today by bringing our hands into prayer at the heart center. Bring our thumbs to our third eye. May we have lovely peace in our thoughts this week, to our mouth. May we have peace in our word this week, and to our hearts. May we have peace and love in our hearts this week. We will bow to our own hearts. Namaste. And thank you very much, everybody. And I'll see you all again